Hello, this is Ashee from Crafting with Ashee and welcome to this video. This is the card we're making today. Isn't it cute? These little hedgehogs in the flowers just nattering, saying hello to each other. So let me show you how I made it. So I love hedgehogs. I should actually say just recently we had a hedgehog in the back garden. I went to draw the blinds on the orangery and I looked out and there was this little hedgehog just snuffling away around the grass right in the centre of the garden, totally happy and calm and content, snuffling away, looking for food and just doing what his hedgehog self should do. It was just lovely to sit there and watch for ages while he just enjoyed himself. It was just such a special moment. I really loved it. So it was that actually inspired me to make this card. And this is how we're going to do it. This is a piece of those, you can see, Fresh as a Daisy Designer Series paper, and this measures 9.5 centimeters by 13.85. But all of these measurements will be on the blog post on my website, so don't worry about that. And then we're going to have a piece here of old olive that I've cut out using the basic borders die, and I've used this curved die here to make this grassy mound. I'm just deciding where and how I want my mound to look like, but I want to have space at the top as well for my sentiments. So I think I'm going to have it roughly around there. So let's put some glue. And I'm actually going to bring in my silicone mat. It's a bit gluey already, but anyway, it'll be fine. I'm just going to put some glue. And there we go. Told you it's a bit gluey already. Doesn't matter. I'm just going to decide where and how we want this to look. I think like that, as I said, should be fine. Okay. And then we are going to just cut off, let that dry for a second. Actually, let's cut off the excess now. Don't worry about it. Just use our scissors. This is how my scissors get full of glue. I need to degunk these ones with some alcohol wipes. Okay. Get rid of all these pieces here before they spread the glue everywhere. There's a little bit of glue here on the front, I can see. Not a problem. It will just rub off like that. Okay. So let's stick this down. No, actually, let's not stick this down yet. I'm talking rubbish. Let's do some stamping before we go any further. This is the stamps that we're going to use. Phrases for. We're going to use the one here that says Happy Birthday. Now, I'll show you how I put it on my block. I use my grid paper to line it up so I know it's straight. And then I'm going to get my block out. I'm going to use a bigger block for this. And then line my block up as well using the lines. And then everything should be fairly straight. Use Memento. I'm going to give us a really good ink up. It will do. Decide, use again. Make sure my piece of card is straight on my grid paper. Use those lines to help. And down. I'm just going to hold it there for a minute. There we go. Happy birthday. Lovely. Okay. So then we can stick this down now to our card base. And our card base is thick basic white, the standard A6 card base. That's an A4 sheet cut in half and then folded in half. So let's stick this in the center, and we have a nice white border around the edge like that. We're going to set that aside and we're going to work on our hedgehogs now. So I'm going to bring in some punches. I'm going to bring in first here the hedgehog punch, and I've got one here that I punched before because I punched too many. And for the top of the hedgehog I'm going to be using pecan pie. So I'm going to put this in and just punch out the top of my hedgehog. There we go, with pecan pie. And then for the bottom of my hedgehog here, I am just going to punch out from crumb cake. There we go. So set that one aside. Move these pieces out of the way. So we then have our two hedgehogs. We're going to have one pointing each way. So they're going to look like that. So we're going to attach one to the other. So let's get some Tombow. And then just going to line it up so it matches just like that. Whoops, and then don't get it matching and pull it back out. And the same here, just make sure you have them so that they're facing each other, that they mirror images. And then we're going to just have that like that. Okay, and then we're going to do a little bit of sponging. So I'm going to bring in my sponge daubers here. I'm going to look for one that looks brownish. I think it's this one here. I need to give these all a good clean actually. And then I'm going to bring in my, what you call this, my pecan pie ink, and I'm just going to sponge the edge of my just like that of my, whatever you call this thing, hedgehog, and just gives it something, helps it to pop from the background. There we go. So I want to close. It's just playing silly. Okay. And then we're going to bring in our Stampin' Up black marker, and I'm just going to colour in his nose and his eye, just like that. Okay, make sure they look roughly the same, like that. There we go. So those are our two little hedgehogs done. So let's work on our flowers, and I'm going to use here the Petal Park Petal Park punch, and I'm going to punch out some flowers. I'm going to use the stripy side, I think, this time. I'm going to punch out 2 sets, I think. We'll do us fine. 6 flowers. We don't want to overwhelm everything with flowers, and this is just a Bright and Beautiful Designer Series paper. So we've got here our flowers. Bring back our sponge daubers. Actually, I'll take this one out, and I've got some fresh freesia ink here, and I'm just going to sponge around the edges of all of our flowers, really simply. So this is a good time as any to say, if you're enjoying this video, I'd be grateful if you could give it a thumbs up so YouTube know, and do consider subscribing. As I said, you can find all the information about the project on the blog post, and all the supply lists are linked below as well, so do check that out. Do you have any hedgehogs in your garden? Have you seen any this year? Let me know in the description box below. We've had them before, but this is the first time I've seen one. So normally I see them sort of coming out of the hedgerow or just going across underneath the hedges and stuff, but this is the first time I've seen one right there in broad daylight, just snuffling around right in the centre of the garden, happy as you like. So there we go, there's all our flowers inked up. Close this up. So now we can start to arrange everything. And firstly, before we do that, actually I'm going to bring in my bone folder. I'm just going to give my flowers some dimensions, just helping to curve the petals just a little bit on all of my flowers, just like this. Just makes them look a little bit less flat, more dimensional. So you don't have to do this, but I think it does make a difference. You can use anything to do this. You could use a pencil, whatever you want. Flowers are really starting to come out everywhere. Wisteria is finishing off now. It has been beautiful, and rhododendrons are out. Azaleas are starting to come out. It's lovely. I do love it. Okay, so let's arrange our flowers however we want them. Maybe roughly the same arrangement as before. Something like that will do fine. So I'm actually just going to put glue in the centre, just a dot of glue. Dot is a professional term, obviously. Just a dab of glue in the centre here of each flower. Yeah, my tombow really has seen better days. I'm just tucking them as I want, like that. And then let's see here. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to give up soon and get a new tube out. Oh well. We do like, I think as crafters, we do like to use everything up. We don't like to waste anything. We want to know we've got the best value for our money. Okay, so we're going to have one of our little guys here. Let's have him come out from there. So let's just put some glue. Yeah, I think it's had it. There. And then we're going to pop this one up on dimensionals. So let's do that. I actually have downstairs in my craft room, because I don't film my craft room. My craft room is way too small to film in. I have a whole line of little tombows that are pretty much finished, but I know there's a little bit left in each of them. And have I got rid of them? No, because in my mind I'm thinking somehow I'm going to get that tombow out of there. Okay, that's what we've got so far. Now you can cut off the edges of the flowers if you want. You can just leave it as they are. Going to use some rhinestones for my flower centres, so let's bring those in here. Lovely new pack of rhinestones, all nearly new. Let's use one here, and I think this just brings the whole card to life. Makes the flowers look like flowers as opposed to funny shaped objects. I'm going to use the smallest one for our smallest flower. Once if it wants to come. It's playing silly. Let's see if my pickup tool will work. Aha. It's going to work this time. Let's use that instead. There we go. So there is one Hedgie card, and there is two Hedgie cards. So if you like them, as I said, please do consider subscribing. As I said, you'll find all the information you could possibly want in the description box below. So thank you again, and until next time, enjoy being creative. Bye.